Hey guys, how you all doing? I'm Paul the Tech Giant, and today we're going to be unboxing, setting up and test riding this Eskute Polluno Electric City Bike. Now this is one of the Eskute's very latest models, and to be fair, it has some pretty good standout specs and features, such as the Shimano gears, Samsung cell battery, Bafang motor, built-in lights, dedicated app, and it can even charge your mobile phone. Now, if you do happen to like what you see in this video, what I'm going to do is put a link to my affiliate link in the description. That means if you purchase this bike through that link, I'll get a few quid in my pocket, but also I'll put in a discount code so you also get a few quid back in your pocket. So just taking a quick look around the outside of the box then. So it says Eskute Sports and Outdoors Electric Bicycle, model MYT28. And there we get a picture of the bike. Right, so I think we should first then get this thing unboxed. We've got 3 bands here that we need to cut, and it looks like, as per usual, customs have had a go, because it looks like there was some staples in there, but they are missing. So, yeah, I'm sure customs have had a good old route around before I have. But there we go, that is how the bike looks just there in the box. Let's pull it out. And just in the bottom there, we can see we have, which looks like the accessory box. Now, before we start putting the bike together, let's take a look at the supplied accessories. Right then, so we have our user manual just there. Looks like we have a kickstand, a set of pedals, a UK lead, our power brick there, which obviously that cable will just plug into like so, and then that end into the bike for charging, and then this Eskute tool set. And I've got to say, that's something I really do like about this company. They supply you, all the spanners and screwdrivers and bits that you need. So yeah, if you're the sort of person who hasn't got a big selection of tools, then you'll be pleased to know that by the looks of it, you've got everything supplied here, including, looks quite nice that, doesn't it, to be fair, including that screwdriver there, so you've got a flathead and Phillips. So yeah, very good. Moving back to the bike again now, and oh, as you can see, it's very well packaged, loads of cable ties, wheel attached to it just there. So yeah, got to get busy with the scissors and start cutting all this lot off. Now we've got everything off the bike, it is time to start the assembly, and we're going to be following the instruction manual. So first thing on here, it says that we need to attach the handlebars. Now for this, we are going to be using this 5mm Allen key just there. And what we need to do is first turn this part around, so just grabbing hold of the forks, giving that a twist and putting that roughly straight. Then what we need to do is remove these 4 bolts just here. Now we've removed those, just need to roughly offer up the handlebars. Don't worry about getting them perfectly aligned at this moment. Just put that back over and then start reinserting the bolts back into place. And just do this hand tight. And once we get them to get a bit of grip, then you can start to look at roughly where you want those handlebars to. So get them in a nice position, and then just now finally giving them that last bit of pinch up with the supplied Allen key. Right, next up, what we need to do is remove the shipping bolt from the front forks. So yeah, this part is just simply for shipping. So using the 17mm spanner, just need to loosen these off a little bit. That should remove. Now we need to attach the front wheel, and on the front wheel out of the box we have this piece just here, which I'm going to cut off, and that houses our quick release. So just going to set that to one side, and what we're going to do also is just pull off these protective covers like so. Now to fit the quick release to the wheel, what we've got to do is just undo that one end there, take one of the springs off, fit the quick release through. So we've got the quick release bit on the disc side, so we've got a spring there as well on one side. push it through, push the spring through that we've got on the other side, and then finally attach that and just screw it up, but not all the way. Now fitting the wheel, pretty simple. Just going to lift the forks up, slip the wheel roughly into place, the disc between those brake discs, and then dropping it down, hopefully, into place. Now what you're going to probably find at this stage is if you turn the handlebars will move and the wheel will probably stay in place. But what we need to do is just simply tighten up these bolts here. So get everything lined up, wheel straight, in line with the frame, handlebars all straight, and when you're happy with that, simply grab your Allen key. It's the 5mm again, I believe, and then just pinch up these two bolts, one either side. Now everything's tightened up and moves together. Now, so at this point, I've got to be totally honest with you guys. This instruction manual is utter rubbish. So why is it rubbish? Well, for starters, it didn't actually mention anywhere about that we need to tighten up these bolts to tighten up the wheel and the handlebars together. We've also got this front mudguard. Again, there is nothing in the instruction manual telling us how we go about fitting it. As well as that, we have this kickstand. Again, nothing in the instructions mentions about it. Just got Mrs. Tech Giant to confirm, and you've just gone through it. Can you see anything in there? Nothing in there at all about how you attach these components. Not even about attaching the power cable there from the display to there. I mean, it's blatantly obvious, but still it should mention these things. Not everyone is technically minded. Not everyone knows about bikes. So from here on in, I'm just going to have to sort of wing it, so to speak. What I'm going to do next is then attach this kickstand. So what we've got to do is just remove these two screws that are already attached to the kickstand. And if we look at the rear of the bike, we do have two holes. Now what we need to do is put this kickstand around the back and then feed these bolts through, tighten it up with our 5mm Allen key. There we go, hopefully now, there we go, that's all nice and secure. Rest of the bike, just like that. Next up on the list is going to be attaching the pedals. So believe it or not, there is a left and a right pedal, and they are indicated just there. Can we see that? So the right hand side will be to the right as you sit on the bike. So first off then, attaching the right pedal, and just going to put that in place, and then finally using our supplied spanner, just give that a bit of a tweak, and then the same on the other side. Now we just need to attach the front light, so again using the 5mm Allen key, just loosen this bolt off. On the forks just there is a little nut behind, so you need to hold on to that. And we've got this cable just here running to the light, which I've run around the inside of this brake cable just there, but on the outside of that fork. Going to put that bolt back through that hole, then attaching the nut on the back. But once that is now tightened up, we just get that Allen key again and just nip that up into place. On the home straight now then, and what we need to do is just finally attach the power cable. So we've got green going to green there, and we've got a little bit of a notch in there, a little bit of a green plastic bit hanging down. Just need to line those up, push it together, simple as that. So now that we've got the bike all fully assembled, let's take a quick tour around some of the key components and give you guys some of the specs. So starting off around the front then, and of course we have the disc brakes, which should give you some decent stopping power. And moving up from that, we do have this very handy built-in light. Now the thing that I do love about this is that it's actually wired up to the battery, so you've not got to charge it up or anything like that. So yeah, no worries of it ever dimming down. Now one thing I will say about this light is, it's not a big deal, but it is a little bit yellowy. I'd rather see more of a cooler white light. Next up round the front, we have the suspension. Of course, these aren't going to be the best forks in the world, but at the end of the day, you know, this is a city bike, and I'm sure they're going to be more than adequate for when it comes to, you know, dropping down off a curb or just soaking up those potholes. Moving on then, and next we come to the integrated battery. And as you can see, it's hard to even tell there is even a battery there at all. But yeah, I can confirm it is just there. And I do absolutely love this design. If we just move back, to be honest, you'd be hard pressed to tell it's actually an e-bike. But if we look under this flap just here, we can actually see the charging port just there. And if you notice just here as well, we've got a key slot. And if we move up to the handlebars, you actually see that we actually have a set of keys there. And what we can do, first time doing this, is put that key in, should I say, not plug it in, give it a twist, and we can actually remove that battery. Now on here we do have a button, we can press that down and it will show us the amount of charge left in the battery. And what I like about this is two things really. First up, security, great. So if you're parking this up somewhere, what you can do, you can just take the battery off and walk off. These batteries are very expensive, so if someone was to steal the bike, not great, but at the end of the day, you know, they're trying to steal an e-bike without a battery. They're not going to be pedaling off too fast. And secondly, if you maybe live in a flat or something like that, or just for convenience, you can remove the battery to charge it up. So, you know, simply plug the thing in and you've not got to lug the bike around, you know, into your house. Maybe you store it out in a garage. Just bring the battery in, pop it on the side, put it on charge, and then simply put it back in. Should be just simple as... There we go. Job's a good one. Moving further back again, and then we have the quick release seat. So again, could be great if you want to make it a little bit more secure. You can completely remove it, or just a quick way to adjust that saddle height. Moving right to the back then, and of course we have that kickstand that we have already installed, and it is just very handy. Might not look the best, but got to be honest, it's a great addition, especially because these bikes are quite heavy. So last thing you want to do is lean it up against something, that thing just slips down, ruins the paint. Next up is the nice luggage rack at the back here. So got like this spring-loaded clip, so you could maybe put, let's just say, a bag in there like that. There you go, holds it down into place. So yeah, handy if you want that sort of thing on there. Personally, not my cup of tea, if I'm being totally honest. It's my bike, I'd probably do away with that and the mud flap. And then finally, right at the rear end, yeah, we do get another light. Again, all built in. You can just turn that on and off with the display up front. Very handy. Again, you've not got to worry about having to charge anything up or ever going flat. Move around to the other side now then, and if we look down, we can see the 7-speed Shimano gears. Sure, all you guys have heard of Shimano before, and just in from that, we have the motor, which is a 250 watt Bafang motor, and to be fair, they are very well respected. And then just through there, again, we can see that rear disc brake. Now, before we move on to the cockpit area and the display, I'm going to give you some of the vital specs of this bike. Probably easier if I just do it all in one go. So when it comes to the battery, that is a 36 volt Samsung cell, 14.5 amp hours. Takes approximately 5 to 6 hours to fully charge. Has a range of 80 to 100 kilometers. Obviously, that's perfect conditions and all depending on rider weight. Max speed is 25 kilometers per hour. Rider height is anything between 160 and 200 centimeters. Max load is 276 pounds or 125 kilos. And the weight of the bike is 25 kilos. Let's move on to the cockpit area now then. And first up, we've got our brakes just there, as you'd expect them to be. Then we have our gear selectors there, so you've got down and up for the Shimano gears. And we've got an indicator there of what gear we are currently using, obviously going from 1 to 7. Moving over to the left-hand side of the bike, and we do have a bell, and I like this one because it's like a trigger. So instead of having to flick it that way, you just pull it a bit like the brakes. You just do that one finger, and It's nicely integrated. It doesn't look like one of those big round ones that you have there. Just nicely set off to the side and within easy reach as well. Now moving on to what's got to be the star of the show, and that is the built-in display. And yeah, again, you wouldn't actually believe it's actually a display. Just looks part of the handlebars, but we do actually have two buttons just there. And if we hold down this button on the left for a second, so yeah, looks very nice indeed. Do love the look of that. At the moment it is reading in kilometers per hour, but we can change that with the app, which I'm just about to show you in a second. We've got a Bluetooth indicator just there. That's because I've already hooked this up to a mobile phone. And then we have our battery level indicator, all nice and clear and just where you want it to on the bike. You know, it's not set off to one side there. It's not going to easily get knocked like some displays that can be there like that. You know, you drop the bike, it could easily snap off. Whereas too, I think it's pretty well protected. And like I said, I think it's just the right place for it to be. Next, we come to the button on the right-hand side, and this is to actually turn on the power for the assistance. There we go. It says 1, and then we can change that to 2, 3, 4, 5, and then back to off again. Now, to turn the lights on, both the front and the rear, what you need to do is press the left button once, just quickly, like that, and turn it off again, one quick press. If I just show you at the rear, so one quick press turns that on, and one quick press turns it off again. Now Mrs. Tech Giant just here has spotted something that I didn't notice with this bike, so fair play to her. Now she squeezes either of the brakes. There we go. That rear light flashes, acting as a brake light. Now before we go out for a test ride, the one thing that I've got to show you is the app. Now sadly it's not available for Android just yet, but it is coming. But it is available currently for iOS. So I have it installed on my iPhone, and to be fair, it's not a bad app at all. So it gives us some details there. So current mileage, our battery percentage, total mileage. You can start recording your trip. We can even do the smart mode, so we can change up the different values of the assistance. So if I was to say just press on number 2, as we can see, it's changed on there. I'm going to press, say, on number 5 there. There we go, it's changed on the bike. And what it actually says as well is what difference it makes. So 0 is 0%, 1 is 40%, 2 is 55%, 3 is 70, 4 is 85, and 5 is 100% assistance. Now this next feature I think you guys are going to absolutely love. I know I do, and that is the auto unlock and the auto lock feature. So what I'm going to do, just going to tap on these 3 different icons just there, and I'm going to move the phone out of range of the bike, and you'll see there that the bike has now locked itself. It's all powered down, so now that the bike can't be used properly with the assistance mode. But if I now come close again to the bike, even with the screen turned off on my phone, just tap it near there, and there we go, automatically unlocks. Now what you'll notice as well is there is a password feature. So again, if I move away from the bike, there we go, it's locked. But what we can do is come up and press on the button, just like that. And now we can input a code. For this, I've just got 0000, but you can put in the different numbers as you wish just there. But if I go back to my code, there we go, it is unlocked. Now if we go to this other page just here, as you can see at the bottom, we do have auto unlock distance, and we've got near, medium, far and touch. So you can set that to your personal preference. Okie dokie, we've now come outside for a test ride and you're going to come along with me. So if you want to come in a little bit closer, as you can see, bike's currently powered off. What we're going to do is press that power button. Just for a second, there we go, powered on. No assistance level at the moment, so I'm going to press the button once there. There we go, assistance level 1 is selected. And we're going to hop on and give it a test ride. So, let's go. Right then, we are off. So starting off in the lowest assistance, and the lowest gear possible. And simply to change up the gear, just going to press on that trigger there. And you know what? That's pretty smooth. We just go down a gear and stop a sec. And then just start off. Let's just feel that motor kick in. So you can feel it just there. I'll tell you what, in first gear, in first assistance mode, or lowest assistance, that's pretty smooth to be fair. So let's change up a few more gears. And don't know how well it's come across on camera because it is a very bright sunny day, but we are getting our speed reading just there. And in a minute what we're going to do is hook up the iPhone, power up the app, and you can actually change the brightness of the display for daytime and nighttime. Let's change up the assistance level, go to level 2 now. Again, can feel it a little bit more, but it's not being overly intrusive. It's not like really harsh on or off. So let's power it up to assistance level 3. Let's just quickly cross this road here. There we go. So now I can feel that quite a bit more kicking in. Got a bit more of an oomph to it. Change up the gear again. And it's lovely and smooth, to be fair. I don't know if you guys can hear that it's not rattling or anything like that. So let's give the bell a test. That's all good. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to start off in assistance level 3 and gear 5. So that should normally be hard going. But again, just there from sort of about 5 kilometers per hour, you can feel it gradually helping there with the assistance. Oh, that's just a joy, that is. Change up the gear again. Very little effort required there now. And it's a baking hot day, and I've got to say it, bikes like this are a godsend when it's like this. You ain't going to be getting all hot and sweaty needlessly. You know, and if you want a bit more of a workout, then you simply lower down the assistance, simple as that. But what we're going to do now is put it up to level 4. Go a little bit quicker, build up the speed again. Go into the top gear, and I'll tell you what, let's go for level 5. So we're at 24 and that's 25. Now the assistance should start cutting off now, so anything above that is me. So it does feel like you're in a little bit of a brick wall at that sort of speed, and it is quite a bit harder to overcome it. So just stop for a second, and as we can see on the display there, it's giving us our battery level. And what we're going to do, we're going to leave it on the highest level of assistance, which is number 5. Start off in the lowest gear to see how long it takes us to get up to full speed. So let's crack on. So look at that, just flying up already. There we go, not a problem. Next up, I think we should try the brakes. Now let's just set off, and please bear in mind that the brakes on this bike are brand spanking new, so they've not properly bedded in just yet. And I am quite heavy as well, so that's not going to help matters. But anyway, let's hit the brakes by Mrs. Tech Giant just there.
Nice skid mark there, Paul.
Yeah.
Skiddy mark.
Should be used to them with me. Now let's quickly just take the bike onto this bit of grass over to the side here. Just see what it's like. And God, I tell you what, that is just so easy. If this was just a traditional bike, you'd have to be pedaling quite a bit harder. Probably be getting out of breath on a hot day like today, going across terrain like this. It's quite bumpy, and I'm hardly having to pedal at all. This is great. And those front shocks doing a fairly good job of absorbing the bumps. Obviously we've got nothing on the rear, but the seat, to be fair, is pretty well padded. So yeah, that sort of terrain, no problem for this bike at all. It's all right, yes. Now what I've just done is I've just quickly hooked up my iPhone using this cheap phone holder. I think I got it for £1 from Halfords here in the UK, does the job. And what we're going to do is test out the app. So if I just go to the settings cog up in the top right hand corner. And what I'm going to do is just show you a couple of things in here. So we've got screen brightness during daytime. So if I was to turn that down, you may see that the screen dims on the display there. And if I turn that back up, it goes up, and you can set that for maximum daytime brightness and nighttime brightness as well. Also, just down from that, we also have an option for the sleep timer there, so that goes up to an hour and down as little as 0 minutes. So after that many minutes that you've set, that screen will power down. Now we've got the unit settings as well. So at the moment we're in kilometers per hour, but I'm going to change that to the UK miles per hour. And let's set off and see what it's like. There we go, that's reading perfectly fine there in miles per hour. Now one thing I am noticing, if I'm being totally honest, with the gears, a little bit noisy on the actual selector just there. But then, you know, at the end of the day, it's not a very expensive bike when it comes to e-bikes either. But one that I did test out previously had the same gear selector, and that did sound a bit smoother than that, if I'm being totally honest. So it could just be a one-off, and if you guys can hear that, exactly the same as last time. The little protective screen on there, which is plastic, does rattle a little bit, so bear that in mind. Now, something as well that's worth pointing out is that if you're not the sort of person who's too stable, hold on to the bike with just one hand. Maybe a bit awkward changing things like the modes on the bike, because a lot of bikes traditionally will have like the mode selector off to one side, like say just there. That's quite easy, you can keep your hand on the handlebars, where this, you physically got to move away to change things. So again, just please bear that in mind. Now I've got one final little trick, sort of Easter egg for you guys, and something I found out. Now with the mode selector button there, instead of pressing it just once, if Mr. Tech Giant just pans back and I hold down that mode button, what'll happen is the bike will start walking itself on its own. So that's great. Maybe if you've got lots of stuff on the old luggage rack there at the back, you're going up a hill, you don't want to actually cycle the bike, but you know, you don't really want to push it either, just hold down on that button and there you go. It's just going to simply power itself along without hardly any effort from yourself. And that goes quite quick as well. So there we go then, guys, that about is a wrap. So to sum up this Eskute Polluno, overall, yeah, it's a decent bike. Like I say, a couple of little niggles with it. Personally, I wouldn't have the mud flaps on it myself, or this, but you know, that's personal preference at the end of the day. I think the biggest letdown has got to be the user manual, wasn't it? How bad was that? That wasn't good. That, you know, there basic things were missing out of there. You know, Eskute, you've got to sort that out. You know, like I said, not everyone is clued up on this sort of stuff. So yeah, a bit of a down to that. But hey, if you're watching this video, I've given you a step-by-step guide of how to put this bike together anyway. Key features, I think, got to be, you know, the integrated front and rear lights. That's a great addition, because you know, how many of us have had bikes in the past that, you know, you forget to charge them up, things like that. They're always attached, so I think that's a positive. Again, detachable battery, very, very good as well. And the design, I think it's a nice looking bike, isn't it? I've got to be totally honest with you guys, I went on to a well-known bike company or retailer here in the UK called Halfords, and I looked at what you could get for the same price, and to be honest, looks like absolute junk. Embarrassing looking bikes. You've got a big sort of bolt on battery there, looks like they've just taken a normal bike, slapped a battery on, looks real shoddy. Where this, to be fair, I think it looks the part, you know, especially with the nice chunky frame and that. Yeah, it's pretty good. Now, if you do like the look of this bike and you want to purchase one, then don't forget, I have got a discount code for you guys in the description. And please use my affiliate link. Like I said, puts a couple of quid back in my pocket for giving you a rundown on this bike. And hopefully, if Eskute are good enough, I'm going to see if they can send me over some of their other bikes as well, because this is the second one of theirs. And to be fair, like I said, you know, I'm really impressed with them for value for money. And next ones, I'd like to try out their mid-drive motors, and they're another step up again, but hopefully they should be pretty good too. So anyway, if you have enjoyed this video today, do us a favour and give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, testing e-bikes and lots of other technology, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. So thanks very much for joining us today, and hopefully catch you guys next one. Bye for now.